So there's been more escalation going on between Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine hit a school in Luhansk and killing several students, and Russia has responded by hitting Kiev with supersonic like intermediate range missiles, if I pronounce that right. But anyway, I have the article here. It's from Zero Hedge. And, I would assume, like, if you would have asked me years ago, I'd assume the war had been over by now. I'm actually kind of surprised, but I think that's the result of drone warfare. It's kind of like World War I, where the offensive technology had outpaced the defensive side of it. And so if people were to try to go on the offensive, you'd have very high casualties. And I think that's why everything's so slow. That's why they're rolling in so slowly. Now, Russia still has a lot of firepower. It still has a lot more manpower than Ukraine. Like I said, why they don't finish the war is kind of surprising. I would assume that for geopolitical reasons that they would try to get this over with as soon as possible to continue their, I guess you could say, like normal operations, so that they don't have to have wartime production, so they can divert that to their economy, so that that would boost their economy. Not only that, but Ukraine has been hitting their oil infrastructure that's going into the Black Sea and the Baltic, and that has really hurt Russia economically as well. Right now would be an opportune moment for Russia to make a lot of money, considering that Russia is a major oil producer and the straits have been closed because of some stupidity in Washington, D.C. But nonetheless, Ukraine has been targeting Russia's economy in that way. So I would assume that Russia would want to get this thing over very quickly and want to retaliate and end this regime. I've been saying this for a long time, that this regime in Ukraine has been on life support. It wouldn't exist without intervention from the West, particularly the United States, because we've been funding their operations and we've been giving them a lot of weapons. Europe doesn't really have very many weapons to give them. Europe has more of a stake in trying to get this going because of the history between Russia and the rest of Europe. But the United States has no strategic interest here. Really what this is it's the neocons. It's the Washington, D.C. mentality, and it's anti-Russian stance for so many reasons. Number one, Russia doesn't go along with their version of globalism. That's a big part of it. And because they want to exploit Russia, just like they want to exploit Iran. They want the resources there, and they want to make things safe for a relatively small group of people, and obviously they're making a lot of money in the process doing it. So, unfortunately, the war is going on. Like I said, I didn't want this to happen to begin with. It's a terrible thing of what's happened to Ukraine. But it's continuing to go on, and I see these videos of Ukraine getting hit. Ukraine's a country that I wanted to visit many years ago, and I don't think that's possible. Even after the war, I don't think it's really a good idea to visit that country. Russia, the same thing. I visited Russia. I love that country. I don't think I'll visit Russia for a long time, and it's a shame. Doesn't have to happen this way, but sometimes, you get spoken for by so-called leaders that really don't represent you.